Hello, this is my Bally Skill Roll that I picked up recently. I have it working. This video is going to be about the back glass. The artwork is pretty well flaked off. And I picked up a vinyl decal from a guy on Pinside who's very well regarded. There's a couple different ways to go on this. You can get a replacement glass, but the glass that the replacement glass is thinner than the original glass. This glass that you're looking at is really thick, and I think it's plate glass. I don't know the exact width of it, but I'm told that if you buy the replacement glass, it's thinner. Not that that's a big deal. The other thing is that I'm told that they print the artwork onto the glass, and you can see the lines from the print. So I'm told that the vinyl decal is the way to go. And that is over here. I ordered it. It came in the mail yesterday. It is freezing here in Chicagoland. So I let it sit overnight and thaw out. This is it. This is what it looks like when you get it. Couple things you'll notice. I was a little alarmed when I first saw it because underneath or above Skill Roll, this is upside down, should be the Bally sign or insignia. Now I realize it's probably on there. And I'm only seeing Skill Roll because the light shines through for those 455 flashers. So anywhere light shines through, you're going to see the artwork. Where light doesn't shine through, you won't. I hope. So I'm not going to do this tonight. I'm actually going to let it sit. It's sitting on a pane of glass. It's been room temperature for more than a day now, but I just want it to flatten out completely. I'm actually not going to do this, apply the decal for a couple days. My plan is to pull the glass out, clean the bottom of it really well on one side, and then flip it upside down, mark a couple points like the 10, the 90, maybe the star, or one of these 100, 200, 300, 400, and then apply the decal to the other side of the glass. Then scrape this silk screen artwork off once I'm done with that. So this will be my journey. You can see if I succeed or fail. Hopefully it all works out. All right, it is Saturday now. It's been a few days since I got that decal. I have removed the top wooden panel that sits on top of this glass and holds it in place. Couple observations. So I marked where the top of the glass is when it's installed with gravity. So when I flip the glass over and slide it in upside down, I know that the top of the glass should be about there. The other thing I marked is where the bottom of the decal, where the bottom of the silk screen appears on the original decal or silk screen, whatever you want to call it, so that I know about what it looked like originally because I'll be dealing with a blank pane of glass that I'm applying a decal to. I won't have any real reference points. I will have the shroud behind the glass. One interesting thing is the original, if you look here, you'll see that the whole, the artwork is kind of offset on the original glass. The shroud doesn't really line up properly. It looks like it should be shifted over. You can see the edge of where like right here, that gray or silver edge should be over about a quarter, maybe 3/8 of an inch. but that shroud will give me a little bit of margin for error. So my plan is flip the glass over, make sure that it's installed. I'm gonna have to lay the game down because I don't have enough headroom to, I'll need about 3 feet of headroom above the game. I'll have to lay the game down, pull the glass out, flip it over, reinstall it, make sure that that lines up. And then I'm gonna mark all of these shrouds so that when I lay the decal on where the light shines through, I can use those as reference points to line it up. I also made myself a little gauge here so that I remember. Once I have that glass off, I don't have any reference for which light bulb lines up with which element of the artwork. So I made myself a little legend here. So next step is to lay the game down, pull that glass out, flip it over, reinstall it, and then mark it. Okay, I flipped that glass over so my original silk screen is down there on the bottom. I've got the clear part at the top so I can see the shroud behind it. I can see that the glass fell into the channel. It lines up with my markings on either side, so that's where it's going to be when I'm all finished. So the next step is to mark a few of these holes so that when I put the decal behind it and shine light through it, I'll have a reference point for where I need to align things. I'm also going to probably put some tape just to mark along where the bottom of the original silk screen ended, just to give me a reference point to see how close I am. It should be relatively close. So I'm going to get to that. All right, I marked a few of these just to give me a reference point when I pull the glass out and try to line up that decal. I don't think this one's going to do me a whole lot of good because just the letters on the decal here are translucent. You can see that right there. So the idea here is once I'll take the glass out, lay it on a table, lay this decal on the back side and shine light through it, and I should be able to line up these holes. They look like they don't line up perfectly, but that's okay. Actually, they're very close. Wow. Anyway, yeah, so now I pull the glass out. I will lay it on a table with this edge hanging off so I can shine light through it. Lay the decal on top and shine, pass light through and try to line it up from the underside. And then I can tape down one side as a hinge. Okay, remove the glass. I have it laying down on my Bally World Cup, which turned out to be a pretty good surface to lay it on. I've got the skill roll loosely lined up with the tape marks that showed me previously where the silk screen artwork started. And if I look underneath, it's pretty close. I'm going to do a little bit of adjusting with that, and then I'm going to tape it down. I need both hands, so I'm going to do this after I put the camera down. But I'm going to tape it down in the middle for a hinge point. I'll do the middle and one end so that I can concentrate on applying to the decal. Like I'll go right down the center here. I'll concentrate on applying the decal to one side first, Then I'll remove the backing from the other side and apply it to the other side. Hopefully it lines up. We'll see. All right, at this point, I've lined up the decal. I washed the glass really well underneath, like 3 or 4 times. And then I wiped down the protective film so that I don't introduce any dirt or anything to the glass. So the glass is super clean now on this side. There's some fingerprints on the other side, but I'll get those later. So I taped one side down. I gave myself a handle here. I taped this. It's a piece of folded over duct tape. Then I used Scotch tape to tape that to the protective film on the outside of the decal. So the idea is I lift it up. I will remove half of this protective film, and then I'll hold it with this hand as I use this foam. It's a foam pad with a piece of crown molding underneath it. I'll use that to, as I lay this down, I'm going to use this to work the air out, and hopefully I'll minimize the air bubbles that are trapped between that decal and the glass. So here we go. Okay, so for starters, I'm just going to peel the protective film off of this, cut it straight across, and then I'm going to use my tool to apply it. So I'm going to cut this straight across. Without touching that adhesive. Okay, now I'm just going to try to work all the air out. So that looks pretty good. I'll take this handle off now. Okay, now we do the other side. Gotta remove this backing. Be careful not to touch that adhesive. really need the handle anymore. See how it looks underneath. I don't see any air bubbles. So now I'm going to remove the protective backing. If I can get a corner of it. Okay, there's that. So I don't, from the back side, I just see a couple little spots. It actually went a lot better than I thought it would. Let's flip it over and take a look. All right, I have a little bit of cleanup to do at this edge. I'm gonna remove all this stuff, my guide tape and so on, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. The lineup looks good. You know, certainly better than what I had. So I'm gonna clean that up, put it back in the game. I'll wash this glass too after I clean it up. But yeah, I'm super happy with that. Okay, while I was in there, I replaced the black foam that pads the back of the glass. It was all, I mean, it was, you can see the remnants of it. It was like sand. It was crumbling. But you know, I had to pull all those staples out. So what I'm gonna do, because this new foam is a little thicker than the stuff that was on there was all dried out and flat. So it's spongy, but it's gonna resist the glass sliding in. So I'm gonna back this screw that that holds the light insert panel. I'm gonna back it off so the entire light panel folds back a little bit, and that'll give me some clearance to slide the glass in. And then once I don't want any resistance against that vinyl decal as it's going in, so I want to back this off. And then once it's in, I'm going to tighten the screw not as much so that the panel rests against it without too much resistance. All right, I'm done. I'm really happy with the way that turned out. I scraped the silk screen artwork off of the bottom. I didn't film that, but my only suggestions there are to use, switch razor blades when you feel like the one you're using is getting dull, and I sprayed Windex on it so that, chips weren't flying everywhere. But just take your time, manage not to scratch the glass. But yeah, I'm real happy with that result. Here. Wow. Maybe I should always play holding the camera. But the one looks good. As I was watching as the counter counted up, and it looked pretty good to me as far as the lineup goes. Let's see here. Yep, typical. I always lose it on that level. But yeah, I'm going to switch these bulbs out with LEDs because, except for these 455 flashers, because I don't know how the heat from the 47s will react with that vinyl decal. But yeah, that's it. Done. I don't see air bubbles. It'll be a long time before I light up that star to see if that lines up, but I'm sure it is. That's a double bulb shroud there. So yeah, real happy with it. Thank you, Mopar. That's the user on pin side that has the connection that prints these decals. That's it. Thanks for watching.